Hello everyone, welcome to this video on the Bold BI 5.2 release highlights for Bold BI Self-Hosted and Embedded editions. I'm excited to announce that our latest release delivers several interesting features and improvements to provide a better experience when working with Bold BI dashboards. In this video, we'll look at the key improvements and highlights of the 5.2 release. Let's look at the data source enhancements. We have added new data source connectors for ClickHouse and Bold Desk. Provided service account authentication support for the Google BigQuery data source. You can now view raw data in a grid widget. You can enable or disable the Show Raw Data option in Grid's Properties panel. Create live web data sources using a REST API. You can also create a live web data source from a third-party tool like Postman. Distinct aggregation expression support for sums and averages. Next, users can join tables based on an expression column. Useful for users who want to modify the column name and then use it to join the tables. Here are the data source improvements in this release. You can now use MySQL as a data store. Users can configure their MySQL database in the data store settings as an intermediate data source. Next, we have implemented support to set up CORS headers on the settings page. Previously, all origins, methods, and headers were allowed. But now you can configure and customize CORS settings based on your policy. We have provided support to create webhooks to deliver data alerts and for standard dashboard export. You can also enable authentication and signing for your webhook and receive webhook content in JSON, XML, and XForm URL encoded formats. Support to configure the known domain list to avoid SSRF attacks. Using this option, you can easily prevent a Bold BI request from being sent out to unknown domains. We have provided support to upload and manage custom and predefined widgets on the settings page. You can enable and disable these widgets under the Widget tab on the settings page. Minor enhancements we've made to the server include REST APIs to update settings. Next, these are the server improvements we have made. On designer enhancements, we have provided data caching support. The dashboard will render from the data cache when the data cache is enabled. We have added interlinking support in tab widgets. You can switch tabs based on the index value. You can configure the default and custom actions for each tab widget in the Properties panel. You can find all the designer improvements listed here. Let's move on to the widget enhancements. Implemented grid summary row support. You can easily customize the grid summary configuration. Next, provided support for period-over-period filtering for grid widgets. KPI cards also have period-over-period filtering now. When enabled, the KPI card will act as slave for the period-over-period widget. Next, these are widget improvements we have made. We do have breaking changes for our widgets. Let's see IDP and UMS enhancements. You can now lock an account if a password is entered incorrectly 5 times or more. You can enable and disable the user account lockout option. The next feature is for customizing password policies to match your organization's IT policies. Next, let's see the improvements to IDP and UMS. On embedded enhancements, we have provided iframe-based embedding. Now, users can easily embed a dashboard into any web application by copying and pasting the embed code. The administrators can easily embed a dashboard designer and a data source designer using various authentication providers such as Windows Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, OAuth 2.0, and OpenID Connect. These are embedded minor enhancements we have made. For embedded BI improvements, you can now get the embed code for the data source designer from the data source listing page and customize the header in Ajax calls. In this video, we covered the exciting new features in the latest release for the self-hosted and embedded Bold BI editions, version 5.2. You can download this latest version of Bold BI from the account page link provided in this video's description. I have also provided a link in the description where you can sign up for a free 15-day trial on our website if you are new to Bold BI. Please leave a comment if you have any questions or if there are any additional features you would like to see in Bold BI. Thanks for watching.